What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be going over some stuff, and I did this not too long ago with some coaching stuff that I read. But today, we're going to be talking about IGLing. The funny thing enough, the best IGL in the world, myself, hasn't posted any IGLing content on YouTube. I think I've done like a couple things when it comes to TikTok, but for YouTube, I haven't. I've still been working towards all that. Just know that I'm busy, and I do plan on doing it. Now, focusing on this, we're mainly going to be talking about trick in this situation, and then my opinion and my experience when it comes to that. And we're going to go over some examples and show some things to help you better understand what we're talking about here. So, to kick it all off, Trick tweets out saying, "You should never IGL on the tier 2. Same as playing Breach/Sage. Career killing roles/agents. You will perform much worse than your peak and will be criticized the most whilst taking no credit for accomplishments. If you want to succeed, play Initiator or Duelist." So he tweets this. I think he's a little emo here. He tweets this out saying that you need to be playing Initiator or Duelist if you want to be someone in this game. And I'm just going to come straight out the gate and say that's just completely not true whatsoever. If he wanted to preface this by saying more people get picked up playing Initiator or Duelist, I will agree with that. That is true at the end of the day. And if you're wondering why that is the case, just know that that is the kind of NA scouting. I think that the NA scouts, talent managers, people like that, I think that they're all horrible. I can go down the list. I mean, there was a point in time in NA where there were 40 signed teams, and about seven of them deserve to make money. You are scouted and looked at by a player based on the fact of you shooting your gun back. For a lot of people who have been given opportunities, a lot of people have been scouted on just that alone. Someone that I'll bring up to the light is a guy named Pony. He played for T1 for a while. He was a controller player for the majority of his career on a free agent team. He was a jet player on his free agent teams. He was popping off using his, op and first bloods and knives, right? And he got picked up to T1 to play smokes. And guess what he didn't do well? Play smokes. And I'm not saying that as a slight or anything like that. He's a great player. His mechanics are great. I know that he can think well, and he's good in a team environment. But he got picked up because he could shoot his gun. That got him in the door, shooting the gun. Now they're like, hey, we want you to try this role and that role. Can you do it? Yeah, sure. Of course I can. I can do anything you ask me, right? That's probably the response that he gave them, being that he wants to have that job. And that's what's been getting people in the door. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is that's not always the case. If you play support or if you IGL or you play controllers, it's not like you're never going to get picked up, okay? What you need to do is become a student of the game and a master of your class. And if you aren't, you're wasting your own time. Because how are you going to outwork someone? How are you going to prove to someone that you're better or you deserve an opportunity when that's not the case? When you're taking some days for granted, you're being lazy, you're not VOD reviewing, you're not taking practice serious enough, whatever the case is. Now, again, with the NA scouting, you are most often brought in because you can shoot back and you're reliable. And at the end of the day, I can't say that it's not fair that that's the case, right? I can't say that it's not fair. Trading and just being able to get yours in a situation where you're in a complete site execute is huge. It's literally like it's required. Okay, it's required. It's not something that you can't do. When you are a pro player, you don't sign a contract and get a W-2 form and pay taxes and get health and vision and dental benefits and you get paid hourly. That's not how it works. When you are a pro player, you are what's called an independent contractor, and I'm sure you've heard of that term when it comes to things like, I don't know, maybe plumbers or electricians and stuff like that. People, people who have a profession, right? This is the profession. Okay, we are similar to them, where that's what we're bringing to the table. We're here to play a game, right? Now, as an independent contractor, what's going to get you a job? What's going to make you money, right? You need to be, basically boasting your service, showing that, you know, I can get the job done. I can be the guy. In the real world where, you know, you have to deal with customers and all that other stuff, price is a thing. But in this situation, we're kind of ignoring that. When you're an independent contractor, that basically means that that person can go get work from someone whenever they want. And that's how people get dropped and picked up, right? If your controller player isn't pulling their weight and they're not paying attention in practice and their mood and attitude is completely changed from the last 6 months that they've been with the team, they're going to go find another independent contractor, a controller player, and they're going to pick them up. So being a controller player, being an IGL, being a flex slash sentinel player, just because those roles aren't picked up often doesn't mean that they never will be. It's just about the time. When a controller player or a sentinel player is struggling on their current team and they start looking for options. When an org is entering the space and they are looking for players for that role, your time will come. Now, to stray away from who gets picked up and how you get picked up, I want to kind of show that there is a emotional side to everyone who plays this game, including myself. For Trick here, I'm sure that if you guys follow him or you know him, he constantly talks about how the game is unplayable, and with no exaggeration, he cannot plant the bomb, defuse, flash, pop flash, etc. I am not able to shoot people. I skip 50 feet back. I ult, and then it says, I didn't with Sova, even after shooting. But in TeamSpeak, I'm barely lagging. So Trick lives in a part of the United States where he has internet problems, and I can relate to that firsthand. I lived in Florida. I had 100 down, 10 up internet. Okay, that's what I played on when it came to Counter-Strike, when it came to this game. That's what I played on. That's what I had to work with. And I'm sure you've heard the phrase, you know, you got to just play with the cards you're dealt. It does suck. Trust me, it does suck. There are nights where I lay in my bed and I look straight up at the ceiling and I'm like, damn, 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 damn. Hold on. And I'm saying damn a lot. I'm looking for a match. Damn. If only I didn't go minus 28 against Knights. If only I didn't go minus 28 against Knights. Damn. Trust me, I've been there. I know exactly what he means by that. But you gotta play with the cards that you're dealt. Look at me now. I'm not there anymore. I worked my ass off every single fucking day. I got an opportunity. Shout out Metro. I've saved up some money, and with a little help, I'm here in Texas. I removed myself from that situation. I put myself in a position to where I can take my game to the next level. Okay? And I know that that's not as easy as it sounds for everyone. Not everybody can just get picked up. Not everybody can just pick up everything and move. Trust me, I know. But what I'm saying is you have to make every day count, and you have to move in the right direction. In Trick's situation, he is trying to do this in the way that he plays. Trick is someone who will buy a shotgun. Trick is someone who will buy an op. Trick is someone who will throw himself into the fight, jumping and spinning around and doing this crazy movement to get two people to look at him, and it takes 2 extra seconds than it normally would to kill him, and in that time, his teammates get the trade, they get the sight, whatever the case is. He's willing to sacrifice himself. So, he talks about here how it's hard to commit to moving, even with offers, because you never know if these orgs are going to cut the roster in a month, and then you're left with a lease and no job. At the end of the day, that's how it is. What's you know interesting in this situation, just because this came up, this was a couple weeks ago, so it wasn't anything recent, but King FPS, former player for Noble, he is now. I saw him tweet that he's getting an IRL job, and he's looking for a job that is based around his schedule. He's trying to do mornings so he can still scrim and play. That's what you're going to have to do sometimes. It's not a situation of sitting in your room every single day, no matter what, making $0. It's not feasible, and you got to understand that. There's going to be situations where you can put yourself in that position where you saved up a little money, or maybe you're a little younger and you live with your parents and you don't have that many bills. You can still pull that off. But the clock is ticking down every single day. Now, Trick has a team called Dark Ratio. They were ranked 10th in NA. 10th. 10th in NA as a free agent team. That's an incredible accomplishment for every one of these players here. It's incredible. They didn't get picked up. Gotta work harder. You gotta work harder. You gotta work harder. You gotta prove that you're there for a reason. You gotta prove that you're here for the long run, and your time will come. Now, I want to go back to talking about IGLing, referencing this portion of the tweet saying that you should never IGL. Again, I think that's a terrible, greedy take. I think that IGLs are one of the most important, uncommon, rare things that you can have in this game. And IGLing is something that can do insanely good things for your career. Number one, being able to will get you more opportunities and potentially more offers. Number two, even if you start as an IGL, you don't have to end as one. But with your IGLing experience, you now know how to mid-round really well, and you're a very vocal player. All that stuff is really important. You don't want to stray away from being an IGL because you're too scared you're not going to get picked up. IGLs get picked up. Trick speaking from experience. IGLs do get picked up. Here we go. Phoenix 1. Bait Academy, free agent. Dark Zero, signed. Okay? Trick goes from somebody who comes out of Fortnite being canceled. He meets up with Derek, Menace, King, Bang, Jangler, Zekin, those guys. Joins Phoenix 1. Free agent for how long is this? A year and a half. Gets picked up. Another guy that you probably know. Valen, Big Jake. Starts on a team called PDHM Flow State. This was one of my rivals back when I first started playing this game. PDHM Flow State and Gonzo Gaming. We played each other almost in every tournament we had. He beat me, I beat him. Balanced Esports. Pug Gods. With time, he gets picked up to Complexity, and now we know him for guard. This guy played at an international event. He started off this game playing for fun. No competitive experience anywhere else. Grinds his ass off, gets an opportunity, doesn't mess it up. Okay? Now, when Trick does say that you will get no credit for your accomplishments, that does hit home a little bit. Okay? That does hit home a little bit. But that is a part of the game. Think about it in the world of sports. When there's 3 seconds left on the clock, and the center jumps up and he grabs the rebound and he secures the ball, and your team wins 99-98. That's a game-winning play, but it's a rebound. Why should the casuals shoving popcorn in their mouth with their feet kicked up on their couch watching the game, they're not going to care about that stat. They're going to care about LeBron James, who had 35 that game. Holy shit, he popped off. Holy shit, that guy's the greatest ever. That happens. That's how it goes. Stuff that's flashy will, occasionally get more appreciation for, the hard work. But again, this isn't basketball. This isn't football. Okay, this is a 5v5 tactical shooter where IGLs are known and, in my opinion, appreciated. It's not something where people don't pay attention to it. A game I'll show you here is when I was playing on Bait Academy as free agents. We walk in and we stomp out Cloud9 Academy. This is a team getting paid thousands of dollars a month per player. Okay, we're all people trying to make a fucking bag, right? I go 21-33, 90 ADR. That's a classic Tdawgg series right there. But guess what? The calls that I made, the practices that I led, the mid-round situations I called properly, that doesn't show up here. It shows up 2-0. And then you go here and you click the stats and you go, Giza's insane. He's carrying these shitters. It's a team game. Did Giza unironically get an opportunity from this exact team, then getting picked up because of this? Yes. And I was so happy for him, and I'm proud of him because he deserves it. But look what roles he's playing. Sova and Cypher. He's not on Jet or Chamber, right? you know, you got the job done on those agents and you got an opportunity for it. Your time will come. You just got to be there every single day, okay? We're going to talk about something called consistency, okay? Consistency is very important. This is intensity, okay? So if we have 5 days of the week, this is called intensity. So if you want to have some insane killer Monday where you work for 14 hours, and then Tuesday you work for 8, and then Wednesday you work for 5, and then Thursday and Friday you don't. This is intensity. We're looking for this. Okay? This is what we're looking for out of the week. We're looking for those 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-hour days every day. You're there every day. It doesn't matter if you don't have scrims. It doesn't matter if you do. It doesn't matter if you have a tournament or you don't. What matters is that you're there every day. Every day you're there. You're a student of the game. You want it. You got to prove it. And again, I'm using Trick as an example here. I'm not trying to say that he doesn't want it, or I'm not trying to say that he hasn't proved it. What I'm trying to say is that you can't just play Duelist and Chamber and hope to get picked up. No one cares. It's about being good. It's about proving you're good. That's the difference. That's what's going to get you a DM. That's what's going to get your foot in the door. When you're a little more unknown and you're putting up good numbers, absolutely that's going to be helpful. Absolutely it's going to be helpful if they know that you can shoot your gun. But at the end of the day, you can't be scared to play the support roles. You can't be scared to be an IGL or a team captain. Because without them, none of these people would have opportunity. None of them. None of these people would have opportunity. Okay? I'm not saying it starts with them, but it's a team game. Okay? You are not forgotten about. You are not wanted. Okay? It's the most sought after position in the game because of how hard it is. That's the difference. That's why there's so much movement between Duelist players, right? You're constantly needed to perform, constantly needed to get first bloods, right? It's similar to IGLs, man. Like, you need to be making the right call. You need to be able to shoot back. You need to be able to be a leader in the server. It's intense. It's hard. But it shouldn't discourage you if you are one or if you want to be one. And I just wanted to take a second to talk about that. If you guys agree or disagree, just let me know down in the comments. I'm always down to talk about it. The main reason I did this video is just because I had someone in my stream ask. It was actually a couple people that we were talking about today, and I just wanted to go over it because it's a touchy subject for sure. And I think that a lot of inexperienced or more casual people will see this tweet and they'll believe it. And I just want to make sure that that isn't the case. Appreciate you tuning in. Tdawgg out. Deuces.